Horror in games is getting seriously wild. It's not just about jump scares or creepy houses anymore. Now we're talking full-on psychological trips, warped realities, and some truly disturbing stuff. What's crazy is, a lot of these are coming from small indie studios, and honestly, that's what makes them so bold. No rules, just pure nightmare fuel. I'm Midnight, and these are 20 brand new horror games that are seriously worth your time. Horror fans, this one's for you. Luto is a first-person psychological horror game that kind of drops you into the mind of someone who's stuck inside their own home. But it's not just about physical walls, you know? It's more about emotional ones too. The game really dives into stuff like grief, anxiety, and isolation, turning these totally normal spaces into straight-up nightmares. As you explore, the house starts to twist and morph around you. It really messes with your sense of what's real. And yeah, there's no combat, no clear monsters or anything, just this constant creeping feeling that something's really, really wrong. Displacement is a first-person survival horror game set in a bleak, war-torn world where you're not just fighting to stay alive. You're trying to find your place in a reality that feels broken. You play as a civilian caught in the middle of a collapsing society, forced to navigate ruined cities, abandoned homes, and hostile environments. The game blends psychological horror with survival mechanics, limited resources, moral choices, and constant tension. What sets Displacement apart is its focus on emotional weight. It's less about monsters and more about the horrors of losing everything: home, identity, safety. Think This War of Mine, but darker, more personal, and way more immersive.
So there you are.
Ill is a brutal, body horror FPS built in Unreal Engine 5. And yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. The game throws you into this nightmarish world packed with grotesque. What really sets Ill apart is just how insanely detailed everything is. Enemies don't just die, they get ripped apart in real time with some seriously disturbing realism. There's a heavy focus on gore, physics-based interactions, and this super oppressive atmosphere that just keeps pressing down on you. Ammo's limited, the environments are tight. If you're into stuff like Scorn or Resident Evil but want something way more twisted, Ill might just be your next obsession. Deepest Fear is a sci-fi horror FPS that drops you deep beneath the ocean surface. You play as Dr. Danny Carroll, sent to investigate this crumbling underwater research complex named Neptune. The gameplay mixes Metroidvania-style exploration with immersive sim interactions. You'll be backtracking, using tools to open new paths, improvising solutions like in System Shock 2 or Metroid Prime. And yeah, there's this real-time fluid simulation presenting unpredictable floods, shifting currents, and enemy spawns tied right into the water mechanic. It's inspired by retro 80s horror like The Thing and The Abyss, with gritty atmosphere and body horror. It's not just shooting.
Please! Oh God, help me!
What the hell have you people been doing down here? I thought you said there weren't any more survivors.
Nothing's changed. We stick to the plan.
Place is falling apart! Water's flooding in! Oh my god!
Shoot it! Stay away from the water. They come from the water!
Hail to the Rainbow is a first-person adventure horror game set in this bleak post-apocalyptic version of Russia. It's got these super heavy cyberpunk vibes, but everything feels kind of dead and decaying, you know? You play as Ignatz, a young guy who's just trying to survive after losing his parents. The world's cold, broken, and full of weird tech, rogue machines, and these echoes of a society that just fell apart. It's not super action heavy or anything. You'll be doing some light puzzle solving, exploring, and yeah, there's a few shootouts with robots. But honestly, it's more about the atmosphere. Subliminal is a first-person psychological horror game that drops you into these weird liminal spaces, like empty office buildings, creepy kids' rooms, and endless hallways that just feel off. You're not told much, but something's clearly wrong. The place starts messing with your head. Walls shift, shadows move, and sometimes you'll see stuff that shouldn't even be there. The puzzles are super trippy too. You use light, shadows, and perspective to reshape the environment. It's not really about fighting or survival, it's more about slowly realizing you're trapped inside your own subconscious. Hunger is a gritty first-person extraction horror RPG set in this plague-infested version of Napoleonic Europe. And yeah, it's just as wild as it sounds. You play as a survivor, one of the living, trying to scavenge through deadly zones filled with monsters, sickness, and, other players who'll kill you just to make it out with your stuff. The world's gross, dark, and honestly kind of beautiful in that rotting, haunted history kind of way. Every run feels risky, and dying, yeah, you lose everything. If you're into tense, high-stakes survival games with horror vibes, Hunger is definitely something to keep on your radar. Alien Rogue Incursion Part 1 Evolved Edition is the updated flat-screen version of that intense VR survival horror set in the Alien universe. You play as Zula Hendricks, a rogue colonial marine who gets sent to investigate a distress signal on this remote planet called Perdon. Yeah, never a good sign. Once you're on the ground, things get bad real fast. The xenomorphs? They're smarter, faster, and they actually hunt you. Not just random pop-outs, they stalk you. You've got limited ammo, some basic gear, and honestly, a lot of praying that whatever's around the next corner doesn't kill you. The game's running at 60 FPS with upgraded visuals, fog, lighting, all that. And while it's technically part 1, it still gives you a full-on horror ride with a story that ends on a "oh no, it's not over" kind of note. If you're into Alien Isolation but want more action mixed in, this one's for you. Bleak Haven is a first-person survival horror game built in Unreal Engine 5 by solo developer Artur Wanskowski, former Bloober Team talent. You play as Tyler, a guy who gets coordinates from his missing brother's phone and ends up on this fog-shrouded island that's basically a nightmare. It's got cult rituals, abandoned villages, crypts, like everything is wrong. Gameplay. Expect limited ammo, brutal melee weapons, and savage finishers when you catch enemies off guard. It's not run and gun, more like dodge, strike, survive. You'll solve puzzles, unlock secrets from cult documents, and navigate twisted ruins. The game leans into cinematic storytelling, performance-captured cutscenes, pro voice acting, and visuals that just awesome. Animal Use Protocol is one of the weirdest and coolest horror setups I've seen in a while. You play as Pen, a hyper-intelligent chimp trying to escape a messed-up research facility after, everything goes horribly wrong. You're not alone, though. Your sidekick's a rat named Trip. And yeah, he's literally wearing a Tamagotchi on his back. You're sneaking through dark corridors, using this gravity tool to solve puzzles and, stay alive. There's no guns or anything, just scavenging, crafting, and not making too much noise. The game's got Alien Isolation vibes, but with this surreal twist, it's tense, creepy, and kinda emotional too. Animal Use Protocol is 100% worth your time.
You're sure this is the right way?
With indignation, pathfinding, very good. Better than smelly hate. Better than run, run, run. Paralyzed terror. Smelly hate, run. Run, 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 run.
Stygian Outer Gods is a survival FPS set in Kingsport, a fog-drenched harbor town soaked in Lovecraftian horror. You play as a fragile protagonist, where sanity matters just as much as firepower. The world is decaying, full of cult rituals, cosmic entities, and shifting environments shaped by madness. Hallucinations, whispers, and visual distortion aren't just aesthetic, they directly impact how you play. As you uncover forbidden knowledge and face impossible creatures, reality starts to crumble. Built in Unreal Engine, the game features a grim, immersive atmosphere. Now in early access on PC, with full release planned for 2026. Will Follow the Light places you deep in the Nordic wilderness as a father searching for his missing daughter. This first-person experience builds its horror not with monsters but with silence, isolation, and psychological tension. The only guide is light, flickering lanterns, distant glows, and the sun breaking through mist. Each step forward feels uncertain, with ambient sounds and shifting shadows keeping you on edge. There are no cheap jump scares, just the haunting weight of loss and mystery. The game is set to release on PC in 2025.
Father?
Quite a Ride is a first-person survival horror experience built in Unreal Engine 5, where you pedal through a shifting, foggy countryside on a bicycle. You're stranded after a strange anomaly leaves you alone. Your only tools are your bike and a cryptic phone charged by continued motion. Inspired by Pacific Drive and the surreal art of Simon Stålenhag, this atmospheric trailer reveals procedurally generated roads, abandoned labs, whispering trees, and puzzles tied to your dwindling phone battery. Monstrous entities lurk in the mist and the world changes based on collective player progress, unlocking new locations and secret missions over time. There are no weapons, no combat, Survival hinges on peddling, decoding messages, and evading pursuers you never fully see. Available to wishlist now on Steam. Release window not yet announced. Phatologic 3 returns to a surreal world of disease, paranoia, and psychological decay. As a sequel to Phatologic 2, this narrative-driven survival horror traps you in a decaying town where time moves in real time. Every minute, every choice has weight. You play as a new character facing the same collapsing society, limited resources, cryptic NPCs, and a world that bends under pressure. Conversations can seal fates, supplies are scarce, and failure is permanent. The gameplay blends brutal survival mechanics, exploration, and deeply unsettling storylines. With its grim tone and symbolic storytelling, Phatologic 3 promises a uniquely disturbing experience. It is scheduled for release in 2025 on PC.
And the army, impossible structure. The plague made flesh. This can't just be a dream.
So, effectively,
Carnival Hunt is an asymmetrical multiplayer FPS set in a dark steampunk carnival world. One player takes the role of a monstrous clown-like hunter, while 4 others play as vulnerable wind-up rabbits trying to survive. There are no guns, only hiding, deception, and survival. Rabbits must search for batteries to stay alive, while the hunter stalks them, able to disguise and mislead. The game leans into sound and tension. Every footstep, breath, and creaking floorboard matters. The atmosphere is thick with dread. Flickering lights, broken masks, and dense fog turn each match into a silent horror show. With its mix of strategy, stealth, and psychological pressure, Carnival Hunt is set to launch on PC in 2025. Project Z Beyond Order is a first-person zombie co-op shooter set on a Nazi-occupied island during World War II. Up to 4 players work together to fight hordes of undead, the result of secret Nazi bioengineering experiments. Each character has unique skills and progression paths, while gameplay blends intense FPS combat with exploration, looting, and crafting. You'll build and upgrade your hideout, unlock blueprints, and interact with NPCs that evolve with your choices. The horror isn't just visual, it's built into the systems. With unpredictable enemy spawns and shifting mission objectives, with deep weapon customization and tactical teamwork, every run feels tense and rewarding. Scheduled for release in spring 2025 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series XS.
Now, what do you think the Nazis are doing all the way up? What the hell?
Frostrail is a first-person survival horror game set aboard a seemingly endless steam train traveling through a frozen, post-apocalyptic world. You play as a lone explorer trying to survive extreme cold, limited resources, and terrifying threats that emerge from the mist. The real horror lies in the silence, the creaking metal, the distant wind, and the constant fear of what's waiting in the next car. Managing hunger, warmth, and equipment becomes part of the tension, especially as mechanical failures and strange anomalies increase. Crafting and quick thinking are essential, but mistakes are deadly. With haunting visuals and a chilling atmosphere, Frostrail is expected to enter early access on PC in 2026. Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2 drops you into a snow-covered modern-day Seattle as Fire, an elder vampire resurrected into a city torn by supernatural politics. Choose from 4 clans: Bruja, Tremere, Banu Hakim, or Ventru, each with unique powers and dialogue paths. You'll manipulate minds, use blood magic, or dominate foes in brutal close combat. It's not open world, but a dense, immersive sim built for tension and narrative depth. The city pulses with mystery, danger, and shifting alliances. Dialogue choices carry weight, and every decision shapes your story. With stealth, morality, and predatory instincts at the core, Bloodlines 2 blends horror and RPG like few others. Launching October 2025 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS.
I be to you, Willem, and to this lonely, forgotten warehouse.
Exactly what he said you'd be. I guess that makes it easier.
Makes what easier?
What happens next? Now I have to do what he told me.
Pioneer throws you into a desolate Soviet island, haunted by mutants, factions, and supernatural anomalies. As a former operative stranded on Tartarus, survival means more than just shooting. You'll scavenge for parts, trade, craft gear, and navigate shifting alliances. The world is harsh, weather changes, supplies are scarce, and enemies are both human and monstrous. There's no hand-holding. You'll fight in abandoned bunkers, irradiated fields, and ghost towns filled with audio logs and hidden horrors. PvE and PvP blend together, and every decision echoes through a reactive world. Powered by Unreal Engine 4, Pioneer emphasizes realism and atmosphere over spectacle. The game launches on PC in 2025, with consoles to follow. Beneath is a deep-sea survival horror FPS, where you play as Noah Quinn, a seasoned diver trapped in an underwater research facility. Oxygen is limited, ammo is scarce, and every step feels unsafe. Mutated creatures stalk the dark corridors, and an adaptive AI tracks your movements. Your sanity isn't just a meter, it breaks down slowly as pressure builds. The ocean outside isn't quiet either. Strange whispers and shifting lights keep you on edge. With immersive visuals, psychological tension, and a focus on limited resources, Beneath delivers a claustrophobic horror experience. It's set to release in 2025 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X Breakfast.
This newfound creature, it's unlike anything we've ever encountered.
And that's the list. 20 upcoming FPS horror games pushing fear, tension, and immersion to new heights. Whether you're into tight corridors, surreal nightmares, or open-world dread, the genre is evolving fast. And in first person, it hits harder than ever. Which one are you watching the closest? Let us know in the comments, and stay alert. 2025 and beyond is looking terrifying in the best way possible. Midnight out.